Hi, welcome. It has been a hot minute, and that is because I've been procrastinating. Not just, well, that's not the only reason. I have been procrastinating, but I've also been trying to script my videos. So I've been working on a bunch of different scripts, which you'll see in the future. But this video is not scripted, and the next couple of videos won't be until I finish the ones I'm planning. And then, like, that's when I'll figure out my whole schedule little thingy. But so, as I promised, I'm going to be doing the next couple of unscripted videos before I start getting into like more professional stuff, I guess. It will be the last of the creepypastas, which is, well, not like I haven't read every single creepypasta, but it'll be Jane the Killer, which is this video, and then Nina, which I have to figure something out for Nina because I'll tell you now, the issue with Nina the Killer is that it was translated from Spanish. So there's a lot of like grammar issues that might just be translation issues, but it makes it much harder to read. Um, so I might end up having to script that video just because it's going to take me a lot longer to just read it than to what I normally do where I read and I talk because it's just it's difficult to read. It's the translation issues and then just bad grammar to begin with makes translation issues worse. And then I will be doing not Tiki Toby. I will do Tiki Toby eventually. I might make his scripted video, but I don't know yet. Um, why do I Lou? Why do I keep thinking of Toby? um, I do want to do Sonic.exe still, and then after those ones, Tiki Toby might be scripted. I don't know yet. That's when like the more professional videos will come out. I think I said I had a couple of other videos planned, but I'm not sure yet. I don't remember. I have to go back and see what I said. But those are the ones like set in stone. Is Jane the Killer, which is this one. As you would know if you looked at the title, which I'm assuming you did. This one's Jane the Killer, which I might do. I'm still considering it where oh my computer went off. I'm still considering it where because I'm reading the original story, so I'll get more into that later. I might read both of them because the other one's like 2 paragraphs, and they're not long paragraphs either. It's like a little introductory thing, and then a note. Oh my god, who is farting? So yeah, so that's my plan for the future. Um, so Jane the Killer, let's get into it. Jane the Killer was originally created in. That's a good question. Let me double check. When was I actually don't know when Jane the Killer was made. Let's find out together. Jane the Killer. So basically, there are two versions of Jane the Killer. There's the original story and then the plagiarized version. The plagiarized version got more popular. Jane the Killer. This is not helping. No, I don't want. I want to know about. No. Okay, I don't know when she was made. I'm assuming at least. Well, Jeff the Killer came out 2006, I think. So it would have come out sometime after that. Jane the Killer was created as basically kind of like not a Jeff fangirl because she wants to kill him, but like a Jeff variant. Kind of like how Nina the Killer and Homicidal Lou are kind of like they're associated with Jeff, but they aren't Jeff. They're like not variants, that's not the right word. But she is like kind of made in retaliation. Not retaliation, that's also not the right word. Figure out the right word eventually, but she was, made as kind of like an anti-hero, antithesis. I think antithesis. I don't know. I like big words, but So like I said, there are two. There's Born of Science, which is the original one, but that got plagiarized and created Jane's Letter, which is like the one that got Jane the Killer well known. Born of Science though is the one I'm gonna read. I might read Jane's Letter, depending on how long this video is, but I like Born of Science because it's very silly without meaning to be, just because the plot, like things don't add up, which you'll see in a minute. Let's start. Born of Science. Jane the Killer. I don't know if I should read who wrote it because I don't want them to like get harassed or. Well, I doubt people are gonna harass them because of a video I made. But the internet is a wild place, so yeah. Well, also you can find it on Google. Like Born of Science. Like you guys know, I didn't write this. I can't like. 2000, not, oh, that sounded like I meant that as an insult. No, I meant, God damn it, why am I explaining myself? I didn't write, I didn't write this because you guys haven't seen my rating, not really. Um, and also, obviously, I am way too young to have written this. Um, 2002 was never a good year for Jane Richardson, losing both of her parents to Jeff the Killer, tackling a job at IHOP as a waitress with barely enough money to get by on, and being both mother and father to her little sister Jessie, who was 13 years old during that time. Jane's aunt Samantha Engel, I don't know why we need to know her last name, but graciously helped out her nieces as far as money was concerned, so it wasn't a total loss for Jane. After all, Samantha was Paula's sister, and after her death, Samantha felt it was right to take care of her sister's daughters. That could have just been us. Samantha felt that it was right to take care of her nieces. That's a nitpick, but one day, while Jane was working her usual shift at IHOP and on her break, she came across an ad in the newspaper, uh, sponsored by her local blood bank. In the ad, it was said that the person would be paid $150 for their distribution, but they had to be a really healthy blood type in order to qualify. What is a really healthy blood type? I know what healthy blood is, but what is a healthy blood type? That's the real question. Who knew? Who? That's the real question that everyone should be asking. Are you a healthy blood type? Was this too good? Oh, $150 just for giving blood? Was this too good to be true? I don't think blood banks give you money for giving blood. I think they only give money for plasma. I don't know people. I wouldn't know, but like I don't know anyone who sold their blood or anything. But I'm pretty sure it's just donating blood and then you can sell plasma. I might be wrong. Um, Jane thought it would be good to take care of them. God damn it. Jane thought it would be good to take that money and pay off her month's rent. Not her mother. Her mother's dead. So why not? After all, she did have clean blood. Without hesitation, Jane wrote the address of the local blood bank down, plus the phone number, finished off her orange juice, and went back to work. Another waitress, Alexis, who was covering for Jane, noticed that her mood was more optimistic and appeared more pleasant as usual. That's supposed to be than usual. Refilling other customers' drinks. Well, someone's really happy today, Alexis said. I feel like they didn't need to add that. Like they didn't have to add that whole description. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a professional writer. I'm not an English teacher. Do I look like an English teacher to you? Why wouldn't I be? I found an easy way to pay off my month's rent, Jane replied, pouring a fresh cup of coffee for a random man. Thanks, the man said. Oh, yeah? What? Alexa said. The blood bank is offering $150 for anyone giving blood. You had to have healthy blood, it said. Jane said. Jane said, "Whoa, I never heard of that, Janie. Usually they pay you $25." Alexis replied, refilling a customer's soda. Somehow they must have made a few changes. Jane said, chuckling. You gotta swing by, Alexis said. After I leave here tonight, Jane replied. That's such a weird exchange, mainly because, like, it's the way they're talking while refilling people. Like that's something you do kind of in the back. Why are you talking about blood and like blood donations while refilling people's drink? And also, that seems more like a private conversation. I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking again. That's just. It's also just a weird. It feels like a weird conversation, like to be having while working, like in an IHOP. I almost said Waffle House. Jane and her friend worked on through the night until the atmosphere of this IHOP was calm, laid back, and less rushed. The lights of the shopping center where the restaurant was shined through the windows. Random cars on the highway passed it by in the distance. Motorists who were looking for a bite to eat, getting off work, or going home sat the mood for this particularly that one's just not me particularly lazy California night. KTLA News 5 was giving a report of the LAPD still pursuing Jeffrey Woods, aka Jeff the Killer, the one responsible for the murder of Jane's parents. The police commissioner said that they were having a hard time catching the suspect and had to enlist the aid of the FBI, CIA, and Department of Justice in their manhunt. Mind you, this is like a 13-year-old boy. Like, I don't know if he's still like 13, but like he's young. Like he can't be like even if like a couple of years pass, there's no way he's no older than like 16, 17. That's not a 6-7 joke, I promise. There's no way he's older than like 16 or 17, 18 at the most. Like they don't need all of these people. Just I don't know. Bribe him with like a what do bribe him with like a t- Twitch Prime or whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm not a 13-year-old boy. Mr. Beast chocolate bar. I don't know. Um, See, this is why I have to script my videos. I'm not funny. Not without thinking about it first. Um, where was I? Department of Justice. Here we go. It would make Jane feel better to not only have Jeff captured but wiped off the face of the earth entirely. One of the customers in IHOP. It should be the IHOP. Yeah, one of the customers in the IHOP sounds better. That Jane noticed was a man in his late 40s with short brown hair, a goatee. Is that how you spell goatee? Hold up. I'm checking something. Goatee. I can't spell. Oh my god. I shouldn't be critiquing people's current. God damn it. Goatee. I was right. That's not how you spell it. They spelled it GOAT that like hyphen E. It's GOATEE. Um, Sunglasses and wearing a black three-piece suit and tie, crisply pressed. He looked like Walter White with hair. Another distinguishing feature about this man was a Bluetooth earpiece hanging on his left earlobe. He browsed through the menu and surveyed the employees. He paid close attention to Jane, almost as if she was a famous person. "Hello, sir. What can I get you tonight?" Jane asked, smiling. "T-bone steak and eggs," the man said. "How do you want your steak?" "Well done. Well done. Eggs over easy." I don't trust this guy. He looks like Walter White, and he wants his steak well done at an IHOP. You're gonna get it that way anyway. I'm kidding. Can you even order steak at IHOP? I've never seen that before. I'm gonna Google it. See, this is why we do research. I have steak and eggs. Oh my god, other people have Googled this. Oh my god, they do! For $17.99? I Why do they have? Oh my god, they have multiple different types of steaks. Holy shit! What is over hard eggs? I've never heard of that. What are over hard? What the fuck? I'm distracted now. I'm so sorry. What are over hard eggs? This is supposed to be about the Jane the Killer, and now I'm God. What are over hard? Oh, it's just over easy, but with the eggs cooked fully through. I didn't know that had a name. I thought it was just all over easy, and then you just over tell them to overcook the egg. Okay, I'm distracted. Let's get back to the story. This is not the right one. Oh my god, here we go. Also, again, I don't trust him because why would you get your steak well done, and why would you do that at IHOP? And also, you're probably gonna get it well done anyway. It's IHOP. Um, Okay. Well done, over easy. Oh, I just wanted to let you know that we have a new pomegranate pancake syrup, something I happen to make in my free time. Jane replied, taking the man's order. Wow, that sounds like a winner. You made the syrup? The man asked. Well, yes, Jane said cheerfully. You got a lot of talent, that man replied. Is that allowed? Like, if you work at a chain restaurant, are you just allowed to add things to menus? They could have gotten around this by just making it a local pancake place, a local breakfast place instead of an IHOP. Cause why? That's not allowed. I don't think. You can't just walk up to the manager of your job and be like, "Hey, I want to add this to the menu." Like, okay, it's it's like a chain restaurant. um, Jane went back into the kitchen to get the man's food prepared. While he was waiting, he fumbled with a button on his earpiece. We found the perfect woman, sir, the man said, speaking at a low volume. This man was actually an FBI agent, Agent Marcus West. Marcus E, sorry, I messed up his name. Marcus West is his secret twin. Was still hunting down Jeff the killer. Despite the LAPD's futile efforts and Agent East's determination, he was gonna stop at nothing until Jeff was captured. One, what does her? How is she the perfect woman? Is it because of her? Is it because of her pomegranate syrup, or was it because she was talking very loudly about donating blood and how she had very healthy blood? Um, Second, why did they just outright tell us that he was an FBI agent? That they could have waited. They could have been like, "Oh, he, speaking at a low volume," and then it would have had because there's the rest of the conversation here with the guy and the other guy, like the mystery guy. He's an FBI agent probably. But why'd they tell us that he was an FBI? Like they didn't need to do that. They could have waited. Excellent. I sorry that this is coming out so mean. It's because I'm so mad about being wrong about the steak and eggs thing. I had no clue that not Waffle House. Oh my god, IHOP sold steak and eggs. I gotta Google. I was gonna see if Waffle House did too. I don't know. I don't live in Florida. I've never been to Waffle House. Um, Excellent. Gather the other agents for next week. We know of a way to go after Jeffrey Woods. Understood. Jane brought out East's meal and a fresh cup of coffee. Thank you very much, man. Not man. Ma'am, Agent East said pleasantly. You are certainly welcome, sir, Jane replied. An hour later, Jane clocked out and left for the night. See you tomorrow, Alexis, Jane said. See you, Janie. I love that nickname, Alexis said. After 30 minutes of being on the road, Jane came across a blood bank. She expected the building to be closed for the night, but oddly, it was open. This must have been a 24-hour deal. The outside of the building looked like total shit, but the interior was very pristine and sterile, similar to a doctor's office. I hope so. It's basically a doctor's office. Jane approached the receptionist at the desk and announced she was there to give blood. Wow. Good. I can't speak today. Good evening, ma'am. How can I help you? The receptionist asked in a warm, friendly tone, smiling. Came across your ad saying that you pay anyone $150 for simply giving blood. Wonderful. What's your name, dear? The I can't speak today. The receptionist asked. Jane Richardson. Okay, Miss Richardson. You go down the hall, second door on your right, the receptionist said. Do I have to sign any papers or anything? No. Oh, thank God, Jane replied, laughing heartily. The reception laughed along with Jane. I'm so scared. Why? They just that's so scary. Like she's so nonchalant about this. She goes in like, "Can I give blood?" And they're like, "Sure." And she's like, "Oh, do you guys need like medical records or do I have to sign anything?" And she's like, "No, we don't need that. We don't need that stupid stuff." Like that's so scary. What are they doing with the blood? You could get murdered right here and no one would know. I'll have your cash ready for you when you get done, honey, the receptionist said, smiling. Jane did indeed have healthy, clean blood. O negative was her blood type. Now we know the cleanest blood type is O negative. I mean, that makes sense. It is universal donor. Unless I'm thinking of O positive. I don't know. One of the two. Also, why do we need to know her blood type? Why is that important? After what seemed like hours, but only a few minutes, the doctor who extracted Jane's blood put a bandage over her spot and wished her a good night. Out front, the receptionist was going through her files on the computer when she saw Jane. Man, that needle hurt like hell, Jane said, chuckling. Your arm is gonna feel sore for a day or two, the receptionist said. Tell me about it. I don't know why I made her like Texan. uh, okay, here's your cash, Miss Richardson, $150. This will take care of my month's rent, Jane replied. Behind on your rent, huh? The receptionist asked. A lot of stuff that's been going on. Me losing both my parents and all. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just me and my little sister. I have to be both a mom and a dad to her. But my condolences go out to you and your sister, Jane, the receptionist said sympathetically. Thanks, that means a lot. You have a wonderful night, sweetie. Stay safe. You too. That's, again, that's, like, there are a lot of really weird like like there's a lot of weird conversations happening where it's just kind of info dumping stuff we already know. um or like they're just like not how people talk too. um So that's not the point. The point is we're reading. The following morning, Jane was able to pay her month's rent and wouldn't have to worry about it until next month. Woo! Damn, imagine $150 covering rent. I think like the cheapest rent right now is like $400. Like actually, and that's like not even like realistic. That's crazy. Um, the following morning, Jane. Oh, I already read that. While working the day shift at IHOP, Jane got a call from the blood bank she visited just the other night. What could it be? Thank you for calling IHOP, now serving pomegranate pancake syrup and our new stuffed French toast. This is Jane Richardson. How may I help you? Miss Richardson? This is she. Yeah, she just said that. Listen, next time, maybe. My name is Beth Williams, one of the doctors at the Biomedics Blood Bank. We were wondering if you could come by next week to give another sample of your blood. Okay? We will pay you $10,000. Jane went silent for a few seconds. 10 grand for another sample of blood? Was this for real? Miss Richardson, are you there? Oh, yeah, I'm here. You said 10,000, right? Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much, Miss Richardson. We'll see you soon. Bye. Bye bye. Holy crap, $10,000 for blood. I'd be so concerned. Where are they getting this money from? Like, I know because I've read the story before. This is my first time, but like, where are they getting this money from? It was the start of a beautiful day in the City of Angels. Jane returned to the sorry, I thought I read that wrong. Jane returned to the Biomedics blood bank to distribute her blood and score an easy 10 grand. She wouldn't have to worry about money troubles ever again. But why was Biomedics gonna pay Jane $10,000? $10,000. You would still have to worry about money eventually if with $10,000, like unless you're somehow managing to invest it into like a bajillion dollars, you would have to worry about money eventually. Um, she couldn't figure it out herself, but if it meant that money into an account and making sure her sister were financially secure, then why not again? That wouldn't last long enough to never worry about money again. Jane saw the same receptionist from last time and so remembered her. The doctor who drew her blood was there, and, well, when it was all over, Jane claimed her cash, stuffed it into her wallet, and was on her way. Just as she was about to get into her car, a couple of well-dressed women approached her. One of them flashed her CIA badge and announced, Jane Richardson? Yeah. Agent Tanya Margolis, CIA. What's going on? Jane asked, very puzzled. You didn't do anything, Miss Richardson. Don't worry. But I was wondering if you would come with us. Where at exactly? You will see. Come with us. Second agent said, That's, again, that's so scary. These situations are so scary. And she's like, oh, just another Tuesday, I guess. Um, Without hesitation, Jane got into the limo with other agents where they were talking. Where were they taking her? I can't read, apparently. Why did they choose Jane? Was there any significance? The two women were taking Jane to the CIA headquarters in Los Angeles, where they were going to explain everything to her as soon as they arrived. 90 minutes later, the limo arrived outside of the headquarters. Jane noticed there was also a U.S. What? U.S. Marshals? That doesn't make sense. And FBI. Oh, no, it does make sense. No, this still doesn't make sense. It should be a U.S. Marshal and FBI van. Nitpicking again, I'm sorry. Parked outside. What was all this about? Jane couldn't figure out what the hell was going on, no matter how many times she asked the agents. It was always the same. It was always the same. Information is classified. Jane wanted answers. She wanted to know what was going on. Once inside, she was greeted by a refreshing cold breeze that seemed to be coming from the central air units. It was the hottest day ever. Jane was led to a room that looked like a police interrogation area. Inside was another male agent. Jane sat. Welcome, Jane. We've been expecting you, the agent said. You mind telling me what the hell is going on? Jane asked very suspiciously. Now you ask questions? Why did it take so long? She let them take her all the way to the headquarters and now she's asking questions? Not at all. First off, I just want to say I'm sorry for the loss of your parents. I know how much you love them. How does he know this? I take it that you heard that the LAPD has been having a very difficult time pursuing your parents' assailant, Jeffrey Woods. Jeff the killer? Exactly. We also got in touch with the FBI, U.S. Department of Justice, and the U.S. Marshals, and they are gonna see to it that Jeff is stopped once and for all. Again, this kid is like he's no older than like 18 by this point. Like on truth, there's no way he's older than 18 because him and Jane are like I don't know how old Jane is actually. I'm assuming they're around. Jane might be older than him. I never thought about that. I'm so used to seeing all the like shipping and shit that it never occurred to me that Jane is probably way older than him. But like there's no way Jeff is older than like 18 at the most. Why do they need to send the military against him? Like he's a kid with a knife. Just shoot him. This is like sending the military after Jeffrey Dahmer. Just shoot him. Just a guy with a knife. Okay, but but what does this have to do with me? After receiving word of your blood transferal and biomedics, it is apparent that you are the perfect blood time. Supposed to be type. And maybe the key to stopping Jeffrey Woods. So, oh my God, what is? So let me get this straight. I'm acting like I haven't read this before. So let me get this straight, Jane said, trying to piece together what the agent said. After I gave my blood, you and these other agency guys want me to stop that son of a bitch, Jeff. Yes, ma'am, and all you have to do is meet with our doctors. Just meet up with the doctors, Jane asked. Yes, ma'am, the agent replied, and then I'm free to go. In due time, I promise you. Well, okay. Jane said hesitantly. Doesn't seem hesitantly. She just hops into their car. Well, she was led into another room. One doctor did an eye scan of her ice blue eye after giving her vision test. After giving her a vision test, reading an eye chart, etc. That's the same thing. A vision test is the eye chart. That's part of it. That's part of the exam, etc. A scan of her pretty blue eye was stored into the computer. Why do they keep specifying that her eyes were next doctor to examine her was cardiologist, following a few brief questions such as her date of birth, height, weight, that sort of thing. Cardiologists don't do that. That's the job of the nurse. The nurse does all of that. Or the receptionist, depending on the type of doctor you go to. But the cardiologist checks your heart. That's why they're called a cardiologist. Right? I'm pretty sure I'm right. All I know is that that's not their job. But nurses do that. And that's not disrespect to nurses either. I love nurses. Um, they're kind of scary sometimes, but like they do an important job. But like that's the job of the nurse, not the doctor. They do all the like heavy lifting so that way they can give it to the doctor so they already know what they're walking into. Jane had her blood pressure checked. It was 120 over 80, the normal blood pressure for a healthy young lady. Thanks for specifying, because I genuinely didn't know that. That's not me being sarcastic. I genuinely didn't know that. I was going to Google it. Very good, the cardiologist said. He checked her heartbeat and then asked her to breathe when using his stethoscope. Oh, now he's doing doctor stuff, like cardiologist stuff. The cardiologist wrote down everything. I would hope so. Next, a general practitioner was to examine Jane, checking her eyes, ears. Well, then what was the point of them checking her eyes before? Checking her eyes, ears, throat, and testing her reflexes, you name it. Why did they not just send in the general practitioner first? If they were gonna do, the general practitioner was gonna do all that, why have the cardiologist and the eye doctor? I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb in this case. Jane passed it with flying colors. Jane thought that she was going to leave this building with no problem and be on her way. But when she was led down a hallway by two guards, she noticed in one of the rooms stretchers lined up with blankets covering the bodies. Total of 25 people, all young women, dead. Oh my God. What was going on here? She was starting to get freaked out at the sight of the lifeless women who haven't been disposed of, and anxiously asked where the guards were taking her. They refused to answer, so out of instinct she began to assault the guards, incapacitating one of them. Her fighting skills she learned from Mary's father, Sheriff Nick, really paid off. Who's Mary? Was I not paying attention? Who was Mary? In the midst of the brutal melee, Jane was attacked and sedated by one of the doctors. Her world began to blur and fade to black. And fade black. Bracket Jane groaning bracket. I'm reading this bar for bar. Where am I? Jane asks, coming to. She was strapped into to a chair, smiling to what you'd similar. Sorry, not smiling. I can't read. To what you'd see in a dentist's office. Around her, the room looked like an operating theater, bathed in a bright white light that gave the room a clean appearance. Jane couldn't see anybody because all that was in the room facing towards her was a two-way mirror. Isn't it a one-way mirror? Or is a two-way mirror a thing? I thought it was a one-way thing. You know what? Let's Google. Since I keep googling things, let's Google it. Two way. Because isn't a two-way mirror just like a glass? Oh no, it is a real thing. Wait, no, am I lying? Oh, wait, what's the difference between it? Okay, let's figure it out together. We're going on a little side quest. Oh, so it's a one way. It's just another way to call a one way mirror. That's dumb. I hate that. Why do they not just have? Why don't they? That's stupid. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm distracted. I gotta stop going on these little side quests. Um, they're making me dumb. They're making me look more dumb than I am. Nope, I'm reading the wrong sentence. She felt something on her forehead that was similar to a headband, but she saw electrodes and wires running away from her. Her hands and feet were secured in place. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't break free. A few seconds later, she heard an unknown female voice on the intercom. It must have been that of an agent, researcher, or scientist. That really narrows it down to all of the agents, researchers, and scientists in this building. um, Miss Richardson, can you hear me? The voice asks, almost sympathetically. Who's there? It's me, Dr. Beth Williams from Biomedics. I didn't. If it's unknown, but she knows Dr. Beth. She says that earlier. I didn't want you to have to find out the hard way, but some of these agents and government officials tell me you have a very healthy blood type, and from what I could gather, they were correct. If you are wondering, it was me who sedated you. I did not drag you into the room, which you are in, dear. I can assure you. I will be standing by to monitor your vitals through this process. Dr. Williams said. What are you talking about? Jane. Sorry, I read that wrong. Jane, Agent Margolis said. We brought you here because you are the perfect blood type and also the candidate for the following experiment that's been funded by the US government, totaling in at $6.9 million. All of this to catch a maybe 13. It's a dude with a knife. It's a guy with a knife. It cannot be that hard. Um, We received word from the LAPD that they had trouble in capturing the suspect responsible for the death of your parents, Bruce and Paula. And we, along with the FBI, Department of Justice, and oh my God, they keep saying that. I'm sick of hearing those three agencies. And the U.S. Marshals agreed to help in the capture of Jeffrey Woods. If you haven't noticed, there's an intravenous needle in your arm. One of the scientists will bring in the serum that to replace your blood. The serum is classified, but it will ultimately help you in getting revenge on the ones who took your parents' lives. I'm so confused. Why are they spending so many resources and so much money on a guy with a knife? I cannot keep stressing this. He is a guy with a knife. They're like literally, and again, he's probably no older than like 18 by this point. I don't know how old because like in the original he's like 13, but for some reason they always age him up in literally everything. But like there's no way he's older than 18 in this. There's no way he's even 18. He's probably like 15. Then again, he did throw a knife with perfect accuracy into a guy's shoulder, so I don't know. God. Um, just then, a scientist and doctor came into the room, prepping Jane. Jane. The scientist came in with a liquid hate. What is liquid hate? The container was a gallon and a quarter with what? Are there gallon quarter like is that a thing? Let's Google. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna Google any more things. With a biohazard symbol on it. The light from the overhead cast it in on the liquid, giving off a pretty glowing purple. What did now that I'm thinking about it, what did the pomegranate liquid, whatever it was, have to do with that? Is the pomegranate liquid hate? Is that why she's perfect for it? Because she knows, because she's good. She's not allergic to pomegranate. Um, were all those other girls allergic to pomegranate? That's the real question. The light from the overhead. Oh, I read that. Sorry. The doctor who came in was there to make sure everything was ready and to monitor Jane's safety. He assured her she had nothing to be afraid of, and that she was going to be okay afterwards. This made Jane feel somewhat better. A part of her was scared to death, but the other half of her showed no fear, and she was ready. The doctor put the intravenous tube into Jane's arm. The one tube ran into a container that would collect Jane's blood and shipped to the American Red Cross for patients who had the same blood type as Jane, and to receive a healthy blood transfusion. So they took her blood anyway. um, the other tube was attached to a container holding the liquid hate. So in this, in so this, so in a way, this was just like an embalming fluid prep setup, but with an experimental liquid. Despite being reassured by the medical personnel that she had nothing to be scared of, a singular tear ran down her face. So they're taking out her blood. I get it now. I not like everything else, but I understand that part now. Is that um so they're taking out her blood and then giving her the liquid hate, whatever that means, in to replace her blood. So they're killing her basically, but they're not killing her. They're like putting her in limbo, basically. That's the only way I can think of explaining it. The process began. The voices that Jane heard, the scientists, government officials, FBI, CIA, oh my god, researchers, the agencies. Researchers began to sound distant. If something were to happen to her, she would see her deceased parents. On the other side of the two-way mirror, doctors were monitoring Jane's vitals, her heart rate, brain waves, etc. Her heart was beating at a steady pace, showing the EKG beeping. The readings of the EEG showed normal brain activity. Jane saw her blood being drained slowly. This didn't bother her at first, but as it began to increase, she felt very weak and drowsy, almost like she was being smothered by an unknown person with an ether soaked rag. And in the next few minutes, Jane's surrounding began to disappear, first into a state of unconsciousness and weakness from loss of blood in her body, then dead. The heart monitor in the other room flatlined. The EEG went flat. For that moment, Jane was clinically dead. Ugh. Sorry. Sorry, I needed to sit up for a second. Mom? Don't be afraid, Janie. Mommy's here. Paula cooed sweetly. She saw Jane's eyes well up with tears and held her daughter in her arms, tightly comforting her. Dad? Bruce gave Jane a kiss on her head as he joined in to hold his child as well. Jane was weeping as she was glad to see her parents. You're gonna be okay, kiddo. You're gonna be just fine, Bruce said softly, calming his daughter down. He was in full military dress, his medal shining in the light room of the room Jane was in. His uniform was crisply pressed, his short hair shiny and brushed back, almost as if he was going to attend a military ball. What is going on? Jane asked. Well, since those doctors empty your body, you went out like a light. But me and Daddy are gonna stay here until you can't come alive, honey. I'm sorry, this is so dumb. Like, it's dumb in a way that I enjoy it, but like it's really bad. Paula said in her soft-spoken voice, her words soothing Jane's heartbeat. One thing I could never stand about IV needles is when someone can't find a vein to put it in. That happened to me when I was a little kid, and I suffered sepsis. I felt like frickin' Swiss cheese. That old hag couldn't put the needle in right. You should have known that having an experience as a doctor and a PhD doesn't come with vision. Bruce said, still smiling, laughing. This made Jane smile and giggle as she laughed with her dad. Um, she knew for the longest time that her dad was very silly and made her laugh without even trying, and was still a goofball in the afterlife. That's also what Paula loved about her husband. Jane's parents stayed with her until the liquid hate was administered. Your father couldn't stand. Why? I don't want to know about this. I don't care. Sorry, maybe you guys do care, but I'm not reading all this. This video's already like 40 minutes long. I'm not doing all that. It's just a lot of them yapping about how she should take care of herself after all of this. Um, and that they love her and they'll be in her hearts. So because I'm skipping that whole conversation, I'm done. Jane slowly regained consciousness and came to. The EKG and the EEG roared back to life, showing her heart and brain activity, her vitals appearing normal. As her vision adjusted, she saw she was still in the operating theater. When she looked down, she noticed her hands were now ivory white. She was pale like a corpse. She screamed over the loss of her natural skin pigmentation and saw that her once bright platinum blonde hair was now coal black. How does that happen? I get the skin color changing kind of because you're like when people die, I don't think they get that white, but like I get that. How does the hair work? That's not how hair works. They do a whole like set in whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm not a hairstylist. Like while she was knocked out, they were like, okay, let's do her hair too. um, She tried to break free from the restraints, thinking that she would fail, but somehow, now with increased strength, ripped both of the restraints off and jerked the wires off her head. She tore the leg restraints away and got up out of the chair. She looked towards the two-way mirror, now in a violent, angry, homicidal rage, hollered, "What the hell did you do to me?" She's going to experience violent episodes and homicidal tendencies for the first 90 seconds, one of the scientists said to the group. You are now full of liquid hate, Miss Richardson, Agent Margol said. I look like fucking powder. That's because your natural skin color went away, Jane. Um, she is getting violent. It's talking about how she's managing to take down a 6'5", 300 pounds guy. Yeah, it's basically all her fighting. And then okay, here we go. Um, should I? I'm gonna kind of speed run this. She's talking about, thank you for saving me. Thank you for making me what I am. I know now what I must do. I must kill Jeffrey Woods and his reign of terror forever. If he's not killed, more lives will be lost. I am much stronger now. I'm unstoppable, unkillable. Weapons are useless against me. Anyone who dares crosses me, I will be the last thing they will ever see. I will kill Jeff the Killer, and no one can stop me. Oh my god, she's gonna Jane to kill him. Um, After 90 seconds, Jane's homicidal tendencies ceased and she was acting normally again. The same doctors who were examining her wanted to do x-rays, MRI, the full examination. Jane stood naked as the day she was born, as physicians don't see any abnormal changes, no effect, no defects. She was even more beautiful despite the fact that she was pale with black eyes. Oh, no defects? No changes? No abnormal changes? Okay, Miss Richardson, I want you to read what is on the chart right here. And eye doctor said, I'm not reading all that, but it's all of the letters and then like a little bit at the bottom saying it was made. Where it was made. The eye doctor was flabbergasted that Jane read everything down to the fine print. He took a magnifying glass and saw the address and the company down, a company name at the bottom of the eye test chart. Wow. That just happened. He said, dumbfounded. So, Doc, are there any other tests, or can I just walk out of here and be on my way? Well, are you gonna give me another visual test, or are you just gonna stare at me all day? I'm just gonna stare at you all day, the eye doctor said, seeing Jane fully naked. Oh my god, what a pervert. So I'll take that as a you're free to go. Yeah, Jane took her blood-stained clothes. Oh my, why do her clothes have blood on them? That was in a hospital bag and walked out fully new. Oh my god. She saw clothes that were hanging. She stole clothes, black sweatpants and a sleeveless black Under Armour shirt and a black hoodie. Um, she called Jessie. She waited for Jessie is her sister. She's waiting. Mary. I don't know who Mary is. Jessie immediately ran into her big sister's arms, gasping emotionally, giving her a big hug. Mary hugged both Jessie and Jane and gave them a bunny kiss on the lips. Oh, Mary's her girlfriend. Baby, I'm so glad you're okay. I was so worried, Mary said. Emotionally glad. Mary said, emotionally glad that Jane was alright. I would. Why they didn't need to say that she was glad that Jane was alright twice. I knew you would come out back, Jessie said through tears of joy. Of course I did, Jane replied, giving her little sister a hug, so emotional. Jeff has some competition. As many other criminals out there. Don't go to sleep, you won't wake up. Jane the killer is coming for you. So the thing I only have one comment for this because I made most of my comments near the beginning, like while I was reading. It's this is the equivalent of sending Captain America to kill Ted Bundy, or like, why are they investing so much money into killing a guy with a knife or capturing a guy who just has a knife? Is it that hard? Like, okay, I hmm. Should I read it? I'm gonna read the other one. It's literally like two paragraphs. Can't read. I can't talk today. So yeah. Um. So yeah, this was literally like two paragraphs. I'm just gonna read it. Fuck it, we ball. You know. Jane's letter. This is not written. This is uh. This was This plagiarized the original, I believe. If I'm yeah, this plagiarized the original story. Also, sorry, this is off topic. While I was looking for the both stories, I learned that Jane is no longer a creepypasta. Like, as in, like, they took her out of kind of like, I don't know if I don't know if you guys know this, but Tiki Toby is also no longer creepypasta. The creator wanted to distance Toby and themselves from the creepypasta community. So the original kind of like shitty story for both of them, and the original design is, or I'm not sure if the original, I'm pretty sure the original design for Jane is okay to use too, but like those are still like tech and floating around in the community. But I know the creator of Toby at least redesigned him, and I'm assuming the creator of Jane also did redesign her. And they're like not creepypastas anymore, which I'm kind of sad about, but also like I get it, you know? Like I understand. Um so anyway, Jane's letter, here we go. It's gonna hit like an hour, but it's okay. On a hot summer night, Jeff the killer took another victim. This time, a young wife, but also leaving her husband with a massive skull fracture as a result of blunt force trauma. Sorry, I was leaning too long. The only people to survive was the couple's 4-month-old baby and the babysitter. Alongside the child, police had found a letter which was written on the back of a paper grocery bag, in a black Sharpie marker, and in a Motorola droid. What is a Motorola droid? We're gonna Google it. This one actually has a motor. I'm assuming it's like a phone. I can't spell. Motorola droid. Oh, it's it's kind of like a flip phone, but it's like the one that goes like it's like a cell phone, but also like it goes up to show the keyboard. I'll put a picture. I'll put a picture of it up when I edit this, like here probably, or here, depending. I don't know. I'm probably gonna do something stupid to screw myself over. But yeah, wow, that's cool. Didn't know that. Well, I assumed it was a phone because I know Motorola. Anyway, I'm distracted. um, Faintly illuminated under the baby's blanket. The babysitter, who was locked in the closet during the time, claimed that she smelled the lingering odor of a woman's sheep perfume and found body glitter on the baby's crib. But who was it from? Police were able to decipher the writing on the grocery bag. Here's what it said. Jeff, if you're reading this, know that no matter how many innocent victims you claim or how much innocent blood you shed, I'm still coming for you in the end. All of the men and women you so viciously slaughtered and disemboweled, I beat you to it. I killed them not because I hate them. I imagine those victims were you as I took their lives. It was the mere vision of you that made me kill them. I never did like you, you greasy headed, grinning, smug, ignorant son of a bitch. My black eyes may now look like I'm a void of vision, but I'm not stupid. Um, I'm void of vision. Sorry, I read that wrong. Just remember that the night you creeped into a poor girl's bedroom, you're gonna fall head over heels down the fucking stairs with your guts caught on the broken glass of the window that I smashed you into. Tonight, when I reach you, evil will battle evil. Winner kills all. And the only one who will not get out for you. I'm coming for you. Sleep well. Signed, Jane the Killer. That's That's crazy. Because the first one makes sense. She's like not like she, this Born of Science makes sense. It's like her. She's aiming for specifically for Jeff. Well, Jane is just killing people just for shits and giggles. She says it's because she's imagining, but she's doing it for shits and giggles. Um, I'm sorry, that's funny to me. Not the murder, the fact that she's doing it for shits and giggles because you're like that doesn't make you any better, girl. Okay, that's all for today. 50-minute video. I might not even edit this, honestly. I might just upload it, depending on how I feel. We'll see. We will see. You know what? I'm throwing it up. You guys will never get to see a Motorola Droid ever, never, because I don't feel like editing this because I know that I'm not gonna have storage. Um, so yeah, you guys will never ever get to see a Motorola Droid in your life, never. Have fun. Well, good. Have a good day, night, evening. I don't any other times of days.